how's it going? So I just want to make a video on this. It's like this guy asked me to play late game, so I slaughtered him one-on-one, first blood, and then he asked, okay, let's play full game, right? How does the late game look like? Okay, so one of the things I wanted to do against tanks is to test, will the bloodthirster work? Because in theory you could just heal the damage, right? Because I was thinking to myself, okay, in theory, if I kill him a couple of times, I get bloodthirster, I should have enough damage to kill him. But the problem is, okay, with tanks, once they get enough armor, you simply do not do any damage at all. Literally, there is no damage. So you can't heal. You can't heal off the tank, right? So then, okay, then the next question is, okay, maybe I can heal off the minions, but then the problem becomes late game with tanks is that their CDR, their cooldown reduction is so high that they simply start spamming their abilities on you. And a lot of the times tanks can just stun you and you can't do anything. Like look at this. Look, early game, he just died like multiple times, right? Okay, then he goes and he buys Ninja Tabi, and then that's it, the game finishes. Do you understand the problem? Like, they scale, number one, they scale. Now, normally, I would go for, let's just see. Normally, right? I would go for scaling runes in this case, but I decided, you know what, I'm gonna just test out to see how this works. So I went for these tools, and he went for late game runes, I think, right? Yeah, you see, so he went for scaling runes. Like Grasp of Death Dying, blah blah blah, right? The usual scaling runes, right? And the problem is, look, you see, like this shit is like, look, like 9-second cooldown, 4-second cooldown. And this is him without even items. And like how do you damage this? Do you know what I mean? Look, I'm full fury, right? And I decide, you see, like normally I don't. The way to beat Volibear as Tryndamere is very simple. You dodge the shield, and then you all in him. That's it. That's how you did it. But look, you see, like the problem is in First Blood you can do it. But as it reaches towards the mid and late game, his cooldowns are so small that he can just heal infinitely. Do you see, like he can just spam the shield infinitely. Do you see, it's back up, right? Everything is back up. Do you see what I'm saying? And you can't really, there is no opportunity for you to all in because he just stuns you, runs away. And then by the time, you have to understand that, like, he stuns you, runs away, you are slowed. So by the time you reach him, it takes like 6 to 5 seconds. His cooldowns are back. So he rinses and repeats this, and there is not much you can do. It's the same shit with Malphite. It's the same shit with Tamkench. It's the same shit with Mundo. Like, Mundo, late game, has 10,000 HP. Even if you go Bork and like 3 damage items, because I tested, I just decided, you know, there was a dude, he was a bronze, I think, player, and I decided, you know what, I'm gonna let, because normally Mundo is very easy, you just beat him in like 6 minutes and that's it, he can't really do much, because, but I was like, okay, I'll let this guy scale, and see what happens. Basically, by the time you get Mundo to half HP late game, his ult is back up, so he just ults again. So do you understand the process? There is no physical way to actually kill him, because he just ults permanently. And this is Volibear, look, this is Volibear on level 12 with just Ninja Tabi. And I can't beat him, even though I'm ahead in gold with damage items. And I just like, it's not even close, you see, because the cooldowns. And he has no mana expenditure. Do you see, like, shield, stun, shield, stun. And like his cooldown on ult is probably like 40 seconds or some shit like that, like 2 minutes, okay? And he has no CDR. Look, he has less cooldown on OP ult that gives him health and does shitloads of damage and deactivates turrets than 5-second immortality. That you can't even use because you're slowed most of the time. Do you understand? It's like why playing champions like Riven, Jax, Tryndamere, who else would be like Master Yi is another one. Like dude, like tanks are just gonna murder you. Like they're just gonna kill you, and that's it. Who else is like that? Nocturne is another one. Like Fiora is another one. Camille is another one. You can't really do much with them. I know people are gonna be like, oh, this challenger, top 10 players, he plays Camille all the time. Dude, like I'm talking about up to masters. You can't beat them, and that's it. You just lose. Set is another one. I mean, Set is just like he gets tanky, and then he has 4-second cooldown on 1,500 true damage. I mean, just like how do you deal with that? What exactly do you do? And look, this is Volibear. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, wait till he gets Radiant Omen. It's like it's just unbearable. Like think of Nasus. I mean Nasus is like, dude, like how do you beat this? There's no way to beat this. Like everything loses to a tank. Everything. Because they're just so OP. Like the problem why they could not do that, for example, in Season 4, the problem was they had long cooldowns, so that was exploitable, right? You always had an opportunity to, if he messes up his abilities, you can simply punish, right? As Tryndamere. That was one thing. Second thing is they would always go on. So if they screw up their abilities, if they spam too much, they go on. And then that's it. But nowadays, they have low cooldowns and they never go on. So I mean, there's really no way to beat this, right? So that's what I'm saying, is that like the champs like this are just like they're just busted. And he does percentage damage. Another thing I don't understand in like League overall as a game design, from game design perspective, tanks as they buy tank items do more damage. But as you buy offensive items, you don't get tankier. Does that make sense? So tank is like, okay, tank builds. Well, think about two items, right? You have attack damage and you have damage and you have defense, right? Tanks, as they build defense, they automatically start doing more damage. But damage dealers, as they buy more damage, they don't get tankier. Now, to balance this out, you have to give them some kind of, like something like the only thing that makes sense is like Jack's ult, for example, right? It scales with AD. So as with damage items. So as he gets progressively more damage, he gets tankier at the same time, right? So which is pretty good, right? But again, the scaling is so tiny, it's irrelevant. Another one is Riven. Her shield scales with AD, but that shield is useless. It lasts 1.5 seconds. It's not going to help you. And you can't activate it during a stun. I would agree if like, okay, Riven's shield can be activated at any time, like Tryndamere ult. Right, okay, fine. At least she's not gonna get blown up by... Because right now Riven world is like this. Nautilus presses R, Misfortune presses R, and she dies. That's it. There's no counterplay. Right, that's it. That's why nobody plays Riven, is because that's the fate of Riven. All the time, in every single game. Or some Lissandra ults, she stands still, Twitch appears, he presses twice right click, and that's it, and she dies. So like, how do you deal with this? Because that's why I don't play. First of all, I don't play full game, right? Because they added this teleporter bullshit, right? So now you can't really punish champs like Vayne, champs like Jax. Like I can win this game if I want to against this guy, but I have to sweat my balls, right? I'm talking like I have to really play well, because the first item you have to go for is Bork, and then you have to go defensive as well, like Horn. So then he can't really do a lot of damage to you, but you are doing damage to him because you have Bork, right? So, and then obviously you go full defense, and then you just shit on him, and that's it. That's kind of the fate of the Body Bear versus Tryndamere, like. But I decided specifically in this game to test out the Bloodthirster, and that's it. You see, you just can't do damage to him. Just can't do damage to him. Bloody tanks, man. I ruined the game, I have to say. Like, the only tank is, like, I really like playing as Nasus, I mean, because he has damage, but I mean, Jesus Christ, playing Mundo, come on, dude. Are you serious? Or, like, shit like Tahm Kench, I mean. You don't really have a lot of control over the game, right? Right. But, I mean, I don't play League, so, I mean, why would I give a shit about this, you know? I'd say Olaf will be good into something like this, because he just heals forever, and that's it, you know? But again, I'm gonna have to complain a little bit about League players, because I gave him, I 2-0'd him basically in First Blood. He asked me to play late game, and he said, oh, I want to get to late game. And then he, and then, what happened? Yeah, I let him get to late game, and then he doesn't want to rematch, because I wanted to just to beat the shit out of him, because I don't like to finish on a loss, you know. And then he just doesn't want to play anymore, you know. Oh my god. Another problem with tanks I don't like is they do percentage damage. I mean, that's just stupid. Because, like, you have to buy expensive item, Bork, to do percentage damage. And he has it built into his kit. Which is kind of silly, when you think about it. Because his damage never falls off. Because it's percentage. Whereas your 100 AD is okay when he has like 70 to 100 armor. But when he buys Ninja Tabi and Radiant Omen, your 100 damage becomes 0. Absolutely 0. So like you can't even, like, armor. The problem again is like armor scales as a percentage, but AD is fixed. So over time, your AD becomes less and less relevant unless it's some kind of percentage damage. Because think about how you buy armor and damage reduction becomes as a percentage decreases, right? But AD is a fixed number that you have to stack up. So at some point, you, like, for example, tank with 500 armor, like Malphite, for example. I played against Malphite, he had 750 armor. We were full AD, like, nobody could do damage to him, basically. And he had 89% reduction. 12% on Ninja Tabi, and 20 crit damage reduction on Radiant Omen, plus 20% Frozen Heart. You literally can't physically do damage to that tank. And yet he can almost one-shot Vayne with a full combo. Just going full tank. So you see why game is like a little bit of a who has more tanks and OP champs. Another thing, like, Jesus drives me crazy about, and another one is like Gragas. That's the thing, always tilts when I physically see it. It just tilts me so hard. Alawi can do it, and Gragas can do it. Is when they have 5 points in their queue, they can one-shot the minion wave, going full tank. Like for Tryndamere or Riven to one-shot a wave, they first have to hit a couple of minions correctly, which is the what are they called? Melee minions, right? The guys with swords. And only then you have to correctly position it to one-shot it. He just walks up, presses a barrel, and that's it. And it's dead. Right? It's like... It's so stupid. It's so dumb. Because my alternative strategy was, it was like maybe 6 or 7 years ago. I thought to myself, okay, I can't really kill them, but I can just stack up a bit of armor, resistance, and just take the turret manually. But now they have demolish, right? So he does more damage due to turrets as well. So it's completely pointless to play a Bruser, basically. Completely waste of time. Unless you're some kind of faker who is just like full-time playing, it's a waste of time. Completely. Like, unbearable, do you know what I mean? Like, this shit is just unbearable. And look, like, he can kill me under my own turret. And I just can't heal fast enough, you know what I mean? Because they... Again, another one in Season 4, lifesteal was, like, huge. You could get to, like, 30 lifesteal very, very quickly. So not only were you able to do damage, your lifesteal was, like... Dude, unless he's, like, attacking you, you're just gonna full heal in, like, split seconds. But now it's like, I mean, look at this. Look, how much am I healing? 100. I have 18 lifesteal here and 7. So I mean, like, it's just... And look, you see, like, because like nothing is doing damage to him. You see? Shield walks away. Cooldown is back. 6 seconds, cooldown is gonna be back. So like, how exactly do you beat this? Unless you kind of play specifically, but I'm talking about, okay, let's say somebody is not as skilled as me on something like Tryndamere or Jax or Riven, or how exactly, and Volibear is operated by a 7-year-old kid. How exactly do you beat this? Because he can just run up to you and smash his buttons, and then that's it. The only way, unless you can kite him somehow. Something like Vayne or Twitch, maybe. Somebody with a support. Look, you see, you can just like, no problem, walk up. And again, Grasp is like, he not only does he heals, he also deals damage based on his health, which is infinitely scaling. You see, like, I just don't do any damage at all. Like, how much damage did I do in here? That was a crit. Right? And again, crit used to be 250 damage. Now it's 175. Minus Radiant Omen, so you're basically doing 150. I mean, it's nothing. Okay, let me see the damage in here. Yeah, you see, it's not even registered. Okay, so how much did I hit him for? So he has 1793. 1793. So 1793. Okay, so that was like 170. So, okay, well, 200 damage, right? So how many hits is that? That's 22 hits, assuming he never heals, but he also heals. Okay, this thing... That's like, didn't register, I think, right? Let me see. So he had... So my crit basically does 200, and that's him having... well, basically cheap armor and 1 Ninja Tabi. Once he gets Radio Zone, I mean, you're gonna be doing like 75. That's it. Like, you see, like, compare his damage to mine, right? Because he does percentage and I do fixed. 58 heal. Well, you see, unless you crit, it's just stupid. It's just stupid. Take care.